We teased it. We're doing it. 7-round mock draft. We are 2 weeks out from the 2024 NFL draft, the biggest draft maybe in the history of the Arizona Cardinals. What direction will they go? That is unforeseen, but what direction will Bo, Dame, and I will do? Well, let's check it out right now. I'm going to share my screen via the 2024 NFL mock draft simulator. Gentlemen, let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see it. It's glorious.
We're going 7, baby. 4, and we'll turn down the speed just for these first couple picks. Do I need to adjust the settings here, gentlemen?
No, don't touch them.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think we should make the trade before the trade down, or before the draft begins.
You want to do the trade with who?
I think we do it. I think we do it with Minnesota.
Okay.
I think the Minnesota Vikings are desperate enough. And we're going to do this mock with what we believe will happen. So it's 11, it's 23, it's a first next year, which they can kiss my ass. We'll force this trade. And then
I think they'll still take it. I've done this just mock draft goofing on my own, and they do take it without having to force it.
We'll offer the trade real quick. Yeah, we'll force it here. You guys comfortable with that? 3 1s and a third in this scenario?
I am.
Okay, we're going to force the trade. Well, it was accepted. Quessy comes up on the clock, or maybe same day, for J.J. McCarthy. The Cardinals are now picking at 11. Now, we can pause this mock to try to get up, okay?
Okay.
So we'll start this draft now, and here we go. Caleb Williams goes first overall to the Drake May goes second. Patriots go Jaden Daniels. Vikings go J.J. McCarthy. So we've got the top 4. Now we're in a position. Do you want to try to make a deal with the Chargers? Do you want to try to make a deal with the Falcons? What are you guys thinking?
So Marv is still on the board. The Chargers are on the clock. What are you willing to give up to get up?
I mean, obviously you're going to go from 11 and you're going to give 5. I mean, I'd have no issue giving up pick 23. I'd have no issue giving up pick 27. So you're basically giving them an extra first rounder. You've already have a first rounder in the 20s, plus then you have your picks next year. Are you comfortable with this trade?
I mean, they are all in on this deal.
I mean, you can do 35. What we want to be realistic, though, since we're forcing trade. Yeah. What do you think is realistic? I think a first this year is realistic.
So yeah, let's do 27.
Do we need to add any other capital?
Just to make it fairsies?
Yeah, I would probably say 27 and maybe like 104. They would probably want multiple picks.
I mean, this is kind of the deal. You can kind of look back to the deal to get back up to get Paris at this point.
Okay, like but you got to give up a future third, I think. Because the Cardinals got a third from Houston in that deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got 2. Did they get 2/3? I can't remember. Gave up
I'm looking at the Paris Johnson deal to come back up. So they traded for the 6th pick. They gave up a 2023 with a 2023 third. They pick swapped in a 2nd round pick and a 5th round pick.
Okay, so what are you looking at additionally we have to give up?
I don't think you have. I mean, 27's pretty heavy. I mean, what you got for a pick swap and a 3rd round pick, you gave up to get up from 12 to 6, and you're going from 11 to 5. It's the same amount getting up.
Does the chat think it's fair?
Let's see. So, I mean, you could just maybe give, I don't know, maybe 35 is too cheap. So
I think they got to come away with a 1.
I mean, you could go 35 and a 4th or a 5th round pick.
I don't think they're taking that. I think you got to give them a first.
So give them 27. All right.
We've done it. It's glorious. The Cardinals.
He's home.
Is this technically holding the line?
I would say so.
So we get Marvin Harrison Jr. at 5. Gave up 27. We're back on the board.
I know you can't really do 3-team
23.
trades, but I think that this would essentially be that. Each team would have to
But
kind
again,
of be okay.
I agree with you, Damon, but that's just unprecedented in today's NFL.
Yeah, not often.
Malik Neighbors falling to 9, shocking development. Just see some of the usual suspects here. Bo Nix to the Steelers, that's hilarious. Arizona's on the clock. Jerzon, Johnny Newton make the most sense, gentlemen.
I mean, there's a lot of good players and prospects on the board right now, from Johnny Newton, Cooper DeJean, Marius Mims, Kool-Aid, JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson, Graham Barton. I would go with either Newton or, I mean, Barton's intriguing to me just because of his versatility playing in the interior. You know, JPJ might be one of the best interior offensive linemen in this draft, but
Newton or Coop.
Look at what defensive tackles are being paid now.
Yeah.
I think this is the play,
especially Johnny Newton. The chat, it's split, but you got Scott Tracy, Ozzy both saying Newton. You got Trinell saying JPJ. You got John saying Kool-Aid. Let's go with Johnny Newton. Let's pull the trigger.
Bartons too. Surprisingly,
yeah, I don't think that's surprising.
Back on the clock here. Let's look at some of the cast-offs. Darius Robinson going 34. Jordan Morgan, pride of Tucson there, going 32nd. Chop Robinson at 30. Tyler Guyton, some of our favorites. Now, I think this is the place where you'd love to take an offensive lineman, but it just didn't fall that way, gentlemen, unless you want to go with Zach Frazier, who I do like.
Yeah, and Baldy said yesterday he loves him. What kind of trade options do you have?
Well, let's see. The Tennessee Titans that you've done deals with before, 38 for 35, presumably. Could you get 106? You absolutely could. So you're going 104 and 106. I think this is a pretty enticing deal to drop down 3 spots.
Yeah, let's do it.
Offer this trade here. Let's hope Zach Frazier is still available as we come back here. And yeah, he absolutely is. So the players that went, Sweet Baby Xavier Leggett, 37, Ladd McConkey, 35, and then, of course, a safety from Minnesota, Tyler Nubin, goes 36. I think Zach Frazier is the play here, gentlemen.
Let's take the center interior offensive lineman from West Virginia. I like it.
So now we've got what looks to be between 66 and 106, 5 picks in the next 40 picks. I'm sorry. And I think it just became a hell of a lot easier to make this decision. I know we've already taken a disrupting defensive lineman. Chris Jenkins falling to your lap here, I think, is a gift.
So you're sitting here at 66, then you're right back on the board at 71. So, I mean, I see guys, you want to get a guy like Chris Jenkins.
This is BPA range.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
And then you can come back and you can get your guy like a Braylon Trice, who comes off the edge out of Washington. Or, you know, we haven't addressed corner yet, have we?
No, we haven't. But again, they're going to be options.
You can get in the next pick a Kyrie Jackson. So yeah, let's take best player available here, Chris Jenkins.
One of Harbaugh's favorites that he's ever coached. Unfortunately, it looks like Jackson goes 2 picks later to the Patriots. They reunite him with their first rounder from last year in Gonzalez. Cardinals now looking at a scenario in which they've got safeties and off-ball linebackers. My eyes are burning. But as you mentioned, Braylon Trice is available. Devondre Sweat's off the Cardinals board, we would assume. Is this a position in which you want to double dip on a receiver, gentlemen?
No, not necessarily, because I actually like the wide receiver depth beyond this.
Okay,
I like the edges here.
Yeah, I do like the edges as well. Like as Damon pointed out, so we've got Trice, we've got Gabe Murphy, who is a TFL machine, kind of overshadowed by Latu and UCLA, and then you've got another guy like Dorlus can play all the positions, but I think you now want a true off-ball linebacker. So let's get Braylon Trice, bring him home.
Really nice prospect that played a lot of big-time football for the University of Washington. And again, like while Marvin is the headliner of this draft, the Cardinals are really doing themselves well with their defensive front seven, which, gentlemen, it's been underserved for a long time.
Yeah. I'm looking here, and I know you see some running backs, but I think that your play is Renardo Green out of Florida State at the corner position.
We dominated Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Gannon was watching that game. 6 foot, 186. Good game against LSU. I mean, played his best games against some of the better teams on their schedule.
That was the worst, I think, passing attack game that LSU had that entire season.
Well, he's lined up against, future first round picks. I don't have an issue with this. I mean, again, you're gonna have back-to-back picks. Like 104, 106 feel prime for a receiver running back combination. So yeah, let's do it. Let's go Renardo Green. The only issue with this draft, and I like it a lot, it's A+, is you didn't address tackle depth long term. But again, you've had Jonah Williams, plus you've got 2 1s next year. I think it's safe to assume one of those picks may be on a developmental offensive tackle.
Yeah. You got the versatile player out of Utah. He plays safety. He was playing on the offensive side of the football. You got Ray Davis, who just came in for a top 30 visit, the running back out of Kentucky. Do you find
show me the receivers, Johnny?
I'm looking for our boy out of USC, Mr. Rice, and I have not seen him drafted yet. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but it looks like it has. I don't see him here. It's not looking good.
Swing a little bit and miss on the wideouts.
But
we got Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, yeah, but can I just make a point here? This is why you have to get a receiver early, because as much as we think we can sit here and feel good about prospects later in the draft, and
I do.
But like look at how the top 40 picks transpired. Xavier Leggett 37, Ladd McConkey 35.
Are you playing this guy? You address bigger needs. You got Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'm saying if you don't take Marvin. My point is like, look how watered down this board is by the time you get to the 4th round. I mean, it's everybody who thinks that Jerry Rice's kid's going to be available at the end of round 3. I don't think that's likely.
Missed Cowing, just missed him. I know Johnny loves him.
His former boy from Maricopa.
You should love Jacob Cowing, Johnny. He's literally from Maricopa. He went to Maricopa High School.
That's wild. Now I have to root for him. I think Ray Davis is the play here just because they brought him in.
Let's do it.
Ray Davis, 5'10". He's a little bit in between Michael Carter Jr. and James Conner.
But, good size.
Yeah.
5'10", 216.
They like him a lot. And then we're back on the clock here. To me, at this point, it's like, can we just do a developmental tackle just for some depth here? Kid out of
Eichenberg.
Yeah. How dare you? I mean, Pittsburgh, they were pretty unwatchable at times, last couple of years, but he didn't play a lot this year. He only played 3 games. Never mind. I don't want him. Eichenberg is somebody that I think Gannon would love.
No, he's way too early. I don't even know if he should be drafted.
Just a raging lunatic.
Go down a little bit, just a little, slide down the board.
We trade down? Ooh, Cade Stover.
I like Cade Stover. Brownlee.
Let's trade down.
I like Jarvis Brownlee Jr., the corner out of Louisville. I do. Where are we right now in the draft?
106. Fleece the Broncos here. Let's do this. How about a little bit of this action here? What do you think?
Whatever you want to do, my man.
Oh, wow. That's a nice ringing endorsement for your boy. All right, so we're dropping. We're getting bodies. We're getting bodies to fill out this roster. Brownlee Jr.'s gone.
Thanks, dude.
We missed out on some of the players we were just talking about drafting.
Cooper Beebe.
Ooh, I like Cooper Beebe, interior offensive lineman. I think you pulled the trigger right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had planned to do. Worked out exactly how I had hoped.
Yeah, that was Megamind stuff, Johnny.
Ozzy says Johnny's just cooking right now.
I am. Ooh, is this tempting? Ooh.
We just took Ray Davis.
I don't know.
How many running backs do you need? You get out of here.
Goodbye, Ray. Ooh.
It's a good run, DeMercado.
Stenot is interesting at the tight end position.
Our boy from Ohio State must have gotten drafted. These are good numbers. Damn.
Yeah, no, he's good. I actually like Stenot. He was good at the Senior Bowl too.
Yeah,
a little undersized for what they like at the position, though.
But they're. I don't think they're going to have Swaim back.
Stover's only 6'1", so that's real undersized.
Is he really?
I believe so.
All right, we'll take him. That's good value. It's a value pick. Speaking of value picks.
You got so many running backs. Christian Boyd, yeah, he's been in for a top 30. Have we done enough to beef up the defensive line? Or
someone that we just signed getting cut?
That's the play. Well, we
Look
have
at Kalen King
too already.
Man, the fall of Kalen King. What happened to him? People
will talk about that for centuries. He's a first rounder.
when we were at the Senior Bowl, we were watching Kalen King, or at least we thought it was another Penn State corner who was just
Dixon.
He was just toast every single play, and we're like, did Kalen King, was he a victim to, what was his name, Johnny Dixon, just being trash? A trash can out there? I think
Bo and I could have gone out there and routed up Johnny Dixon with the way he was performing out there.
Boyd's fine, but we already took 2 defensive linemen here. We have two top 2-3 round defensive linemen.
Yeah, you just don't have a war daddy.
I think developmental tackle, man.
I just don't know anything about Satoa Lamia out of Utah.
I feel like
can I please take Braylon Allen here?
No, we're not taking 2 running backs when you've already got
people will be sick.
James Conner, Michael Carter, DJ Dallas, Ray Davis. Like it's a lesson. Like you can wait on running back in this draft potentially.
You're no fun. All right, what are we doing here? We trading it for a player? You just try to go get a veteran from somebody?
Keep scrolling down a little bit.
I think Boyd still would be in play.
Grayson Murphy.
I really like. We just went tight end. I like Theo Johnson.
What about Zach Zinter on a redshirt year because he got hurt?
Yeah,
3 interior linemen.
They're gonna kill this pick, but you just sit him this first. He was gonna be a first round pick.
It wasn't Gabriel Murphy's not there, right? It's his brother Grayson. Yeah, that's for all our friends out there. Beware when you're mock drafting. Grayson Murphy is the brother to Gabriel Murphy. I'm serious. And one is really
twin brother. Yeah, Bo and I figured this out this week.
And the other one was not so much.
I've known that for weeks. All right. What do you want to do? You guys pick.
I think if Zinter's hurt, that's fine with this as many picks as they've had already. Like,
what about like a Taj Washington out at USC? Wide receiver.
Yeah, 1,000 yards. Damn. He was
What's his size, Johnny? What's his size? That's a big.
Right, let's all do a prayer circle. It's over 6 feet. All right. I would rather actually take Christian. I would take the positional value. I think I'm taking Christian Boyd.
Okay.
In the grand scheme of things, you never have enough good defensive linemen. Let's speed this puppy up.
You just made a monster defensive line.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of them can rush the edge, but
we still have 3 picks left. What do you think? A defensive lineman here?
Johnson.
I mean, a lot of these just play to what we've already drafted. You want to look at this Mr. Holker, another Colorado State product.
I think the tight end room's pretty solid right now.
The heir apparent, our boy?
No, there's no heir apparent to a young tight end. Man, Dylan Johnson, you really could have waited at
Nehemiah Pritchett.
Yeah, I like Pritchett, who they had in a top 30. Good speed. We really didn't find a big time prospect at the corner spot, so maybe flood it with some numbers.
I like SEC players, you know that. All right, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
We didn't take a tight end already. Tip Raymond out of Illinois. Man, his blocking highlights are pretty elite. But I watched him at the combine, and I swore he dropped more passes than he caught.
I don't know if he's an NFL player.
Yeah.
What about Mr. Ross? Walter Ross played left tackle for Oklahoma. Man, he's being disrespected a little bit. I mean, is this the worst thing in the world? Is a swing tackle?
Look at his number against U of A in the bowl game. Damon, did U of A have anybody coming off the edge that should have beat him up like they did?
Taylor Upshaw.
And he didn't give up a sack this year. So he had a
good
851 pass. Now this is who we're taking. I'm 6'6",
320.
If it's ceiling,
the left tackle to Tyler Guyton playing right tackle with a lefty quarterback.
I mean, I think just if he just makes the team, it's a 6th round. That's a good pick. These are the kind of picks the Cardinals need to be making because the floor is so high.
We're talking about
how many times have they made picks?
We're talking about picks they have to make as we're sitting here throwing darts in the 6th round. Jordan Whittingham,
slot receiver,
494 yards and a touchdown. I'm good, man.
Yeah, not very productive.
Go look at Ladd McConkey's stats. Are we going off of stats now, Damon?
Stud.
Ladd McConkey had 400 yards last year.
I've told you I wouldn't draft Ladd McConkey.
Gotcha.
Not at that value.
So
Give me
last
Ricky Pearsall.
These numbers are pretty encouraging. I know he didn't have any picks, but goddamn, played a bunch of slot corner. I mean, could you kick Garrett Williams outside?
Isn't Sanistrell the slot corner for Michigan?
Or no, I'm sorry. This is just corner. This is slot.
More outside.
Yeah. I think this is the play.
John wants to know if we'll go quarterback last pick. I think the quarterback room, I mean, it would be just a camp arm. And I don't know if you want to waste a pick on that.
I like the developmental corners and then one or two pop under JG. And I like using premium picks on front seven players. All right. Our 7-round mock draft, again, less painful than you would expect because of what happened with the initial trade. Yeah, looks nothing like a report card I ever received. Recapping, Marvin Harrison Jr., the trade down with obviously Minnesota and then the trade up. So we netted a first and a third next year that's untouched. Those are the goods. And then we also landed MHJ, Jerzon Newton, Zach Frazier with our first 3 picks, Bo.
Yeah, not bad. And then we continued to go with, value. We started beefing up that defensive line, continued to add on it. So you got 2 Big Ten ass kickers between Johnny Newton and Chris Jenkins. Braylon Trice, you had on the edge, local product who played his college ball up at Washington. Renardo Green, we tried to figure out some projectable prospects at the corner spot. Ray Davis, running back, who was a top 30 visit. Cooper Beebe, who was there, I think Cooper Beebe is a guy that comes from the Big 12 playing at Kansas State that could start, I think, in the right situation from the Arizona Cardinals at a guard spot.
We go back.
Click on Cooper Beebe, Johnny.
What's that?
Does it show up? No, I wanted to see how he did against Texas, against those interior defensive linemen that were at Texas. I think
he's got a low ceiling, but I think we look up and he's just like a 6-7 year starter in the NFL. I think that we won't be surprised by that.
Johnny felt bad for the Broncos and just traded away a pick and out of a spot to get some names we actually liked. But then we came back and took a tight end, Ben Sinnott, Christian Boyd.
Good value.
Line. Like our defensive line with the acquisitions they made, and then the guys they can develop. Nehemiah Pritchard, somebody they've had in a top 30 visit. Auburn corner, Toolsy under 4.40. Walter Roos, tackle position at Oklahoma, and then Josh Wallace from the Michigan National Championship team, a cornerback. What did we get overall? I can't see what was the overall grade?
An A.
That's pretty good.
Not an A-.
Regular River.
An A.
If this happens.
Probably our best draft we've ever done here on PHNX Cardinals, in my opinion.